Welcome back. Well, let's go straight over to my next guest. We need to talk about the Met Police, former Met Police detective Mike Neville. Welcome, Mike.
Yeah, good evening, Kevin.
Let's do this quickly because, frankly, it doesn't deserve much discussion. It's ridiculous. The Met Chief, Sir Mark Rowley, having basically been humiliated by the Graham Linehan saga, the nonsense of sending, I know he didn't do it directly himself, but he presided it over. The buck stops with him. He shouldn't. He should be telling his various local police chiefs, don't send 5 armed officers, coppers, to Heathrow Airport to arrest a guy for historic, alleged nasty tweets. That case fell apart at the seams today, and the Met Police Chief, Sir Mark Rowley, said in the light of this, we will no longer be investigating non-crime hate incidents. Hallelujah. It's good sense at last. Why on earth did the police ever record non-crime hate incidents? If it's not a crime, what the hell has it got to do with the police? However, we're not going to investigate them anymore. You think, well, that's good. So people like Alison Pearson, well, that was the Essex police, but the Telegraph columnists won't, if they live in London, they won't have coppers knocking on their doors saying, bit of a problematical tweet you posted 9 months ago. There'll be no more of that nonsense, that nonsensical claptrap. That's over. However, so you think, oh, well done, Mark. And then, but we will carry on recording non-hate crime incidents. Well, if you're not going to investigate them, what the hell are you recording them for? This is ridiculous.
Well, absolutely, Kevin. And you're talking about 13,000 of these across the UK during each year. And that's how many hours of police time is that taking up, where the officer could be on patrol, could be investigating a burglary or robbery, and he could take real strict action here. He could say, if it's that serious, if it's some intelligence that could be useful, then an inspector has to authorise that it's ever recorded in the first place. Because, of course, the police record, somebody's got a suspicious car, it's not a crime. There may be a 1 or 2 occasions when they might have to record something, but if it's an inspector has to make that decision and put their name to it, then it would never happen. But this is ridiculous. What we see here is if the police had solved every single crime, if 99% of thefts and burglaries, robberies and rapes were solved, perhaps the police could focus on people being rude to each other. But at the moment, 1% of thefts are solved, 5% of burglaries are solved. That's what the public should be focusing on. Even Keir Starmer's telling us the same, that the police should focus on real crime. So it must be a strange thing that me, you and Keir Starmer actually agree with something. It's quite amazing. It's probably a first in this occasion.
But, people like Mark Rowley and other police chiefs, they should see the light here. They should see the sense of it. When she was Home Secretary a couple of years back, 2-3 years ago, Suella Braverman instructed police forces to stop recording non-crime hate incidents. But they ignored them because they apparently rather like this activity, as you said. I think they're down to... is it 30,000 over the past year? But previously they were recording as many as 60,000 of them. That's a lot of work. For what? And now Rowley says, well, we won't be investigating these anymore. Well, stop wasting your time. Stop wasting taxpayers' money. This is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but what you've got to imagine, Kevin, it's in their DNA. Nearly every police chief is a sort of Guardian reader, that sort of stereotypical left-winger who actually believes in this stuff. And I've always said, if you went to Scotland Yard and you said to the top 40 officers, write down on a piece of paper how many robbers, burglars and thieves you personally arrested ever, there'd be a lot of embarrassed faces, because for years senior police officers have not been promoted on their crime busting or crime prevention. They've been promoted on political correctness. I saw a leaflet from Wiltshire Police, bizarrely. Now, 2 inspectors in there. Now, in times past, it would have a detective inspector who said, I solved a top murder case, or I arrested the Novichok suspects, and there would have been a uniformed inspector who described how he'd kept the community safe and he'd caught some burglars. In this case, both of the inspectors had been on the diversity unit. That's the criteria for promotion. It's madness. And they're not reading the room, Kevin. They still don't realise the public want the police to just keep them safe. Stop bothering about what politics we've got, what rude remarks we send between each other. Just keep the robbers, rapists, murderers and thieves away from our towns and cities, and particularly keep them out of our houses.
And stop patrolling the tweets and start patrolling the streets. Simple as that. When are they going to learn? When is Rowley going to learn? When is that idiot who runs that Essex Constabulary? When are they going to learn? There's no point in pursuing people for 9-month-old tweets. In fact, there's no point in pursuing people for tweets whatsoever. This isn't solving any kind of a crime problem. This is just nonsense. This is just Soviet activity, checking on people for no apparent reason. It's got to stop.
But the trouble is, all it does as well is exacerbates the people's belief that there is two-tier policing, because it's often used as a tactic by left-wing activists to target somebody. It might be Graham Lenehan, it might be me, it might be you, it might be somebody else. So they actually use these things to get people dragged into police stations, embarrass them and silence them. And what it does, it says to the public, is that the police are not on your side. And that is absolutely tragic, Kevin. The British police have been seen for decades as the best in the world, and they've lost that image, and it's tragic. I always say this: I was proud to be a Scotland Yard detective. What does it mean now? At one time it used to mean being part of the top crime busting agency in the world. Now people checking up on tweets and looking at Facebook to see who's made a rude remark. Absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely. Now what are they doing? Sending 5 armed officers, armed coppers, to Heathrow Airport to arrest a man, not even a British citizen, by the way, an Irishman flying in from America for tweets that he posted several months ago about the trans community. Mark Rowley should have a look at himself in the mirror and think, what on earth am I doing? What on earth are my coppers doing? This is beyond ridiculous. So it's good that they're not going to investigate non-crime hate incidents anymore, but the fact they're still going to record them, I think it's a scandal, to be honest with you. Mike, great to talk to you as always. Mike Neville, their former Met Police detective. Let me know.